3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes Benz. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that, man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Living super clean. That came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause you know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that pop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a rain. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of in the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when I'm
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. My microphone is not cooperating with me. Hold on 1 second. Let me tighten this thing up here. If my producer / husband extraordinaire could come and assist me, that would be great. Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Now, let me turn that up so that I can hear it. How are you all doing this evening? All praises to the Most High. Thank y'all for being here with me. I realize you could be anywhere on the worldwide internet, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. Okay, I'm just not gonna let my nerves get the best of me. That is gonna drive me crazy. All right, big guy, yes, everything is well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for joining me. Angelina Israel, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. All praises to the Most High. Thank you so much. You know what I said? I'm gonna bring my hair stuff down here to show y'all what I'll be doing with my hair. Cause like it's, and I hate to say this, like No shade to the hairstylist. No shade to the good, ethical hairdressers in Atlanta that really want to do the right thing and like really take care of your hair. But I'm telling you, it is so hard to find a decent hairdresser. And then just with my lifestyle, like I just don't have that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to drive to the salon. That's going to be about an hour. I don't have time to, you know what I mean, sit around and wait on something that should only be an hour and a half. It's probably not going to take 2.5, 3 hours because you got me and somebody else booked. I don't have the time. So I figured out how to do it myself. All praise to the Most High. I'm sure my husband's pockets appreciate that as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But what I will do is I will come in next week. When I come on next week, I'll try to remember. I'm gonna write myself a note to bring my hair things. Okay. For those of you who may be new here, please allow me to introduce myself. I am at Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Speaking of Instagram, shout out to the people on the IG right now. You can't see everything, you can't hear everything, you can't get the full effect. Head on over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD, and there you can see everything. You can immerse yourself in the experience of It's Mono's World and why Boaz don't want your ass. The whole situation. All right. Speaking of Monologue Magad, please allow me to introduce the head of my household, the love of my life. Monologue Magad, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all, if y'all live in Georgia or anywhere in the South, the pollen has risen. Okay, the pollen has risen. It's been warm like a few days, and I'm already with the sinus and I was done yesterday. I was down yesterday. I had to get up in the middle of the night and take a Claritin because my ears was itching. I'm so tired. It's ridiculous. So yes, I'm sipping hot tea. This just has some lemon and some brown sugar in it. Because my throat is still a little. So please bear with me. Like if it sounds like I'm whispering, I'm not trying to, be seductive or anything like that. I'm just trying to keep my voice. Okay, thank you. If you're not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. There you can see old podcast episodes. You can also see old music videos from my husband. Some older, some not so old, and you can always keep up with the new stuff there as well. Also, his music is streaming on Apple, Tidal, Spotify, wherever you get your music from. That Monologue Magad, Mr. Monologue Magad. All right, and I have to shout out my audience on Nasaya TV. Thank y'all for rocking with me. I do go live every Thursday, 8 p.m. on Nasaya TV, but they have my old episodes over there too. And it's not just me, a lot of great righteous content over there. So download the Nasaya TV app on your smart TV, your Roku's, your Fire Sticks. I think every TV is a smart TV. When is the last time you've seen a not smart TV? I don't know. If you can't get to a smart TV, you can always check it out online, Nasaya.tv. That's Nasaya.tv. So listen, if you're on Nasaya TV, stay on Nasaya TV. Get that phone, get that iPad, that extra device that you're not using. Head over to the YouTube. That way you can be a part of the conversation because tonight's show is going to be a good one. King 7, shalom and shalom. I was going to ask about anything happening the weekend of 315 in Georgia, bored and wanting to get away. I don't know about that. I don't know. We ain't got nothing going on. Our event is not until July. F3 Part 2. That is not until July. So please make your plans to be there. Go ahead and start securing your your airline travel, your hotel accommodations, and all that good stuff, so you can be a part of F3 Part 2. We are looking for volunteers. Please head over to the F. No, but hold on. I don't know if the website is up yet, so don't quote me on that, okay? Pause that announcement. I'll talk to y'all about that later. But Nas, Shalom, and Shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. All right, so for my first side story, I wanted to talk to y'all about the Wendy Williams documentary. I don't know how many of y'all have seen it. It was a 2-part documentary. It came on Saturday and Sunday, and the internet has been in an uproar since then. As a person who's been in like a fan of Wendy since she was like on the radio, it's just heartbreaking to see her like this. But what has me a little more perplexed is the amount of people that are totally okay with saying, oh, that's what she get. Oh, that's her karma. Oh, that's what she deserves. You know, maybe it's me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I am just, maybe I'm just horrible. Maybe I am just worse than I, could fathom that I am. But I do not see it as my place to say anything about that somebody's karma. Not when it's a disaster like this. Now, listen, if it's something that's a direct cause and effect, then, oh, well, like you went outside with no shoes on and you stepped on a nail. Oh, well, that's what you get. You should have had your shoes on. Yes, but when you're talking about chronic illness, not to mention this lady suffered with an addiction for most of her life, like, how dare you? Like, who among us is worthy to sit here and say, oh, that's your condemnation? Like, I'm gonna just say this. Y'all be tripping, okay? Y'all do be tripping. Honey, 1 second. Could you come back, please? Can you tighten this up for me? I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so while my husband is tightening up, this is Monologue McGad, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you need to put your face with the name. So yeah, it's just, I'm perplexed about that. Again, maybe I'm just, maybe I just been wilding more than I thought. Maybe I, don't think as much of myself as I should, but who's to say that? This lady is suffering with dementia. Her money's been taken from her independence been taken from her. Not to mention, her husband freaking had a baby with somebody else and then bought a house. Excuse me, y'all. Bought a house. Big guy, he said shalom, big dog. Bought a house 2 doors down from her. Okay, listen, that house and that car might have been on fire. You're gonna take my money, her husband wasn't doing anything. Her husband's job was managing her. Okay, so this is something that they built together. The whole Wendy Williams empire, they built that together. So then you take the proceeds from what we built together, go and have an affair. And she was like, fine, that's fine if that's what you want to do. Just no babies. Just please don't have a baby on me. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with her history, but she has suffered several miscarriages. She was only able to have 1 baby. So she was like, do what you want to do. Just don't have a baby on me. And he couldn't abide by that. But let alone to buy a house 2 doors down from her, to buy her a car, like, and then to help her start a business, it would be too much for anybody. I can't say that house and that car wouldn't have been on fire if it wasn't me. I'm not going to sit here and act like I got it all together and I'm just that mature. Nah, pimp. I mean, I already gave you the hall pass. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm not going to say that. People tuned in for entertainment made her iconic. Now they flip the script on her. Yeah, now they want to talk about, oh, that's what you get for entertaining us all these years. Not to mention, she was trying to tell us about Diddy back in the 90s. She been trying to, I remember when she was referring to him as the gay rapper. She didn't say his name. She just kept talking about the gay rapper and all these parties that the gay rapper was at. And I mean, people were suing her left and right. They were threatening her life. It was a big situation back, Google it, back when she was on WBLS. It turned into this whole big thing. She had to hire extra security and everything. So, you know, how y'all gonna say that? That's crazy. Speaking of the gay rapper and all his allegedly gay rapper friends, like, y'all, what the heck is going on? Everybody got a story about Diddy. Oh my gosh. There was a clip that I saw when I was getting ready. And it was Fabulous, Fabulous. And him and Diddy was in doing an interview. I think they was at Drink Champs or whatever. And Diddy was like, we ain't never partied together. And Fabulous was like, what you talking about? We was at a party together. Diddy's like, nah, we ain't never really partied together. We ain't never really partied together. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Listen. I had to judge myself for my sins, so I understand. I mean, I just don't understand why we have trouble extended empathy to other human beings. I don't understand that. That's crazy. Speaking of extended empathy to other human beings, I have an example of someone who is not extending any empathy to other human beings. Let me show y'all this clip here. I'm going to show y'all this clip here of what Kellogg's CEO advised people to do about rising food prices.
The cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. So some of the things that we're doing is first messaging. We got to reach the consumer where they are. So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost of cereal for a family versus what they might otherwise do, that's going to be much more affordable.
I'm all for innovation and marketing, but the idea of having cereal for dinner, is there the potential for that to land the wrong way?
We don't think so. In fact, it's landing really well right now, Carl. When we look at all of our data, of course, we would know that breakfast cereal is the #1 choice for in-home consumption. We understand that for breakfast. It turns out that over 25% of our consumption is outside the breakfast occasion. A lot of it's at dinner, and that occasion continues to grow, as well as the snacking occasion. But cereal for dinner is something that is probably more on trend now, and we would expect to continue as that consumer is under pressure.
So he basically said, hey, y'all eat cereal whenever you want to anyway. So, you know, just keep on eating the cereal. You can't afford chicken. Who cares? You can't afford rice. Who cares? Listen, y'all can afford a box of cereal, right? So just grab a couple of boxes of cereals and just eat that all the time. First of all, who says this? Who in 2024, for all of our what we consider postmodern, united, we are the world, supposed to be type flip-flap that they try to sell us on social media, the audacity of this man who has probably never known hunger ever in his life to suggest that people just have cereal. Forget what you normally do for dinner. Just eat cereal all the time. Yes, he might as well have said, let them eat cake, because that's exactly what happened. When Marie Antoinette said that, it's because that's what they had. That's what was easy for everyone to get. So, hey, y'all got cake anyway. Just go ahead and eat it all the time. Come on now. That is, yes, it. And then he said, yeah, it landed well. Nobody had a problem with that. Are you crazy? People have been in an uproar since he said that. people have been in an uproar. They do not care at all. Don't care. All right, so our main topic tonight, like, share, subscribe. Hold on, like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Monitor. I'm trying to talk my husband into going live more, y'all. But listen, when I tell y'all that this man is working, okay? Circles around most people that I know. So please understand his heart is to be here doing ministry all the time. But because of his work schedule, like, we've kind of had to focus more on him doing in-person ministry. So we have gatherings here at our home. So listen, if you're in the metro Atlanta area and you are looking to fellowship with like-minded Israelites, Sabbath keeping, law abiding Israelites, please send an email to Monologue Magad. Send a DM. I don't know why I said email. Send a DM to @Monologue on Instagram or Facebook. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Yes. Okay. Yeah, send a DM on Instagram or Facebook. That way you'll make sure that he gets it. Now there is a vetting process, okay? We don't just have anybody in our home. So okay. But yeah, if you want to come congregate with us, let's make that happen. All right, so my next guest, she is I'm gonna let her give you her credentials. But what I will say about this lady is my husband and I contacted her when we were made aware of some health issues. We contacted her, and while she has all of the things that we needed there, and she could have easily just sold them to us and made us believe that, oh no, you can only get this from me. She did none of that. She told us exactly what we could do on our own, as low a cost as possible. And it was sustainable, and it's something that we still practice sporadically today. And she's an entrepreneur. So my fellow business owners, you understand every dollar counts. So to have someone with this knowledge that is just willing to give it away, first of all, hand clap to you, sis. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shahana, which means highly, it means God's gift that's highly favored. But my business is called Mug Life. Mug Life means maturing under God's grace, loving Yah forever. 007. 007 is because I treat and cure diseases like a spy would. We don't just
I like that.
Yeah. We get to the bottom of things. We don't just treat the base. We get to the root. We get to the root of things. I am a certified master herbalist, holistic practitioner, organic hair care specialist, aromatherapy specialist, CBD medical marijuana specialist. I have more certifications. I could go down the list, but I don't remember all of them. I'm also a botanist, which means I grow a lot of the herbs that I use in my herbal remedies. The reason why I became a herbalist was because I have hidradenitis suppurativa, which is acne inversa. It causes you to get lumps underneath your arm, in your genitals, anywhere hair and skin and sweat can meet. You're going to get a bump. And it's hereditary. My brother gets them. My dad got them. My grandmother got them. I didn't know that until I got them and did research. So, what made me become an herbalist was I kept getting these bumps over and over and over. I couldn't work. I couldn't walk. I couldn't function as a wife, you know what I'm saying? As a mother. I couldn't even take care of myself. So I got a herbalist class, which was $263, but I didn't get it for that amount. I got it for $5. It was only $5 for me, because anybody who else went that tried to get the class, it wasn't $5. So the Most High gave me this class to heal me. So I created a product. It's also good for your hair. It's called rose water, organic rose water. I use it for my hair as well. Um, rose water stopped the bumps completely. Like I don't get them.
What?
Yeah, I don't get them anymore. And if I do,
Okay, so I see a lot of people on TikTok that have this disease. Saying you mean something as simple as rose water
it
could
it's
help?
bacterial. It's bacterial. It gets in your hair follicle. Like so, if I was to get laser surgery to remove my hair, I wouldn't get it anymore either. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to do with bacteria, your hair, and sweat. So, like in the
Okay.
summertime, I would get them so frequently. And for women, they come around your menstruation time. So it's like your body's
Oh,
trying to
oh,
purge.
oh, oh gosh. Oh no.
And
No.
I was
That sounds
misdiagnosed. I was
horrible.
misdiagnosed for 10 and a half years. Yeah, I
What?
thought I had Bartholin cysts. Because I was
Uh-huh.
getting them in my labia, I was getting them in my genital area, kept going, kept going. I had to go to the hospital, get them lanced, get little catheters put in me to drain it, and it was horrible, horrible.
Mhm.
But once I started learning about these herbs, because I was even taking colloidal silver. A lot of people don't even know about colloidal silver. I was taking tea
Mhm.
tree, all of that stuff, and it was not working. Colloidal silver would work, but the bottles were so expensive, like
Mhm.
$26 for 4 ounces. And I got to take this every day, every month in order not to get a bump or put it on where I would get the bumps. I created the rose water, and every time I would even think about getting a bump, I spray it and I won't get one. It would go away immediately, like immediately. So I call my rose
Oh,
water miracle water because it like has 15 different things it could do. Like it's good for thickening and moisturizing hair, especially us curly girls. You can drink it
mhm.
for acid reflux. It heals the esophagus and the stomach like instantly. Because it's kind of like baking
Oh,
soda.
wow.
Like if you take baking soda when you don't feel good, your stomach hurts, it'll make you throw up or poop, which is what you want because whatever is bothering you, you got to get it out. So rose
Right.
water will help with that as well. It's a herbal hand sanitizer. You could use it for contacts to spray in your eyes. You could use it on bumps and bruises. One of my adopted mommies, she had gone through something with her breast, and she was like, the doctor was saying it's gonna take her so long for her to heal. I was like, nope, got this rose water for you. You spray this rose water every time you clean it, and it will heal. And within a week, it healed. And she's like, the doctor was like, what are you doing? What did you do? Because it wasn't supposed to heal this fast. And she was like, oh, I got an old remedy that I know. And she wouldn't tell him what it was. But she said,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. You don't want to
no,
tell
she
them
didn't want to tell him
because
because they even told her she got COVID, and I was curing people of COVID as well with the sea moss and the elderberry. My grandma been making
Mhm.
elderberry syrup for over 100 years. Of 100 years. And she gave me the recipe. Well, she didn't give it to me, she left it to me. And when everybody started getting sick with COVID, was already a master herbalist for 2 years by that time. And everybody was just like, oh
Okay.
my gosh, what am I gonna do? My mom got sick, family and friends got sick. I had to ship elderberry sea moss all over the country. And everybody was like, Chanel, you saved me. You saved me because I couldn't eat, I couldn't smell, nothing,
Mm.
nothing. And I was like, y'all just got to take this stuff with the black seed
Yeah.
because I was infusing it with the black seed as well. And then everybody know black
Okay.
seed is the cure all for everything.
Right.
So we were
Right.
just getting everybody like better. And I'm like, I don't even care. You don't got the money to get it from me. You go get your food stamps, go get you some elderberry, go get you some sea moss. You gonna make it. I'll make a video. I got a YouTube channel to make a video on it. And I just want to see people well. I really do.
Right. Right. Oh, great. That is awesome. Okay, so there's another reason you're here, and I want to get into this story. Okay. And now I will say, like, people my age, but let me not assume. I know I had no idea who this person was. I had no idea what a Des Dior was. I was like, who are you even talking about? But after some very quick Googling, I mean, it's easy to find out, she's everywhere. Um, and I want to say this to everybody. I did not just bring her on here just because I heard her talking about the story. Sis has sent me proof that she has firsthand knowledge of this situation. It is a very sensitive subject, so I do want to issue like a timeout. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
As before y'all switch from the whole medical stuff,
Oh, hold on.
I got a question. I was provided some information today. I wanted to see how true. I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay.
For our brothers and sisters who are very familiar with a little beverage every now and then
A little bit.
or often, they say milk thistle and dandelion root to replenish your liver. Is this true or false?
Milk thistle and dandelion. Well, anything that's bitter can liver. So any bitter herb, but dandelion really is good for heart health. Milk thistle is really good for stomach. So it could work, but those are not specific herbs that I would use for the liver myself per se.
What would you use?
For the liver, I use baby, what's that? Rooibos is a good herb. Roobus. Moringa, which is the tree of life, it's a good herb to use. People sleep on diatomaceous earth. That purges the whole body system. It gets worms out. It purifies the liver. It purifies the spleen, the gallbladder. It actually helps harmonic convergence in the body, where if you're off a hormone, it will rebalance you.
So how do you use that? Because when I see it, it's always in a
It
powder,
is
and I'm putting
you have
in
to
it.
add it.
So
You have to add a little bit, and a little bit go a long way. Do not use a lot, y'all, because it's a purging thing. You will be throwing up, you will be sweating, you will be going to the restroom, but that's what it's meant for. It's meant for you to clean but that's why you only use a little bit. So I like when it's time that like I use it after my menstruation, so I can clean all of it. So I'd only use like a pinch. I wouldn't even use a spoon. I use a pinch, and you put it in some sea moss, or you put it in a smoothie, and you just drink it right then and there. Don't let it sit. Don't let it mudify, because it's dirt. So don't let it mudify or anything. Just take it right then and there, and you'll feel the effects. Okay. And if you're
I'm scared to mess with that.
you said you had an allergen, right? You need to drink some nettle tea. Nettle tea will help with your allergy. Okay.
I'm gonna go get some tomorrow.
And your local bee pollen, whatever, like you get some local bee pollen from your bees in the area. You take that every day. That will help you build up an immune resistance to the pollen, because the bees is the ones that
I cannot find it. I went looking for it last year when you told us this, and I have not been able to find it. So I just settled for some regular generic bee pollen. And my husband was like, "No, that's not what she said."
Yeah, you gotta really try to get local. Like I'll even look. We'll try to find like a local farm in the area. You know what I'm saying? To try to see if we can make some or something from the local honey or something, or get some local wax. You know what I'm saying? I know Savannah, we have our own bees.
What kind of store, or where do you normally find local bee?
Well, in my area, we have it's called Savannah Bee Company. They have a bee company that makes you could go right into the store, get the honey, get honey mead, get wax, get honeycomb. They have samples there. Frontier Herbs has bee pollen. You can get it from, if you trust organically, because I get a lot of my herbs, the stuff that I can't grow, from Mountain Rose Herbs. They're not sponsoring me or anything, but I get a lot of my stuff from Mountain Rose Herbs, because they're organic, they're trusted, and I'm from New York, so I get my stuff from New York. You know what I'm saying? That's just because I know them personally, you know what I'm saying? But you live in Atlanta, so I feel like if you were to go to that international food market, they might have it
Mhm.
there.
Oh, and we do our shopping at a Mexican grocery store
Right. That's what we
anyway.
talking about. The international.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what we the
Yes,
international food
yes,
market.
yes,
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
they have the
There
sour
anyway, I just
stop leaf
didn't know
and
it
all
was
that.
there to look for
The
it.
Mexicans be having the sour stop leaf. That's another cancer fighting agent. There's a lot of people catching cancer because of sugar. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Cancer is it
Like
eats
common
refined
sense.
sugar. You know what I'm saying? When they be like feeding the cancer, yeah, it's the refined sugar in that in everything that you eat and the enriched grains. Like if you look on the back of your elbow noodle macaroni, it'll say enriched grain. Well, what is an enriched grain? That means they took something out to put something to enrich it, and it's not the good thing for us. Like the mineral that when we say give us our daily bread, right? It was because
Mhm.
the regular bread that we used to make was heart healthy for us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't used to get heart problems and blood pressure. They took the mineral out. They took the iron out of the wheat. You know what I'm saying? And put something that is not that our bodies can't break down. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why we're getting cancer at such high rates. Women with the aluminum deodorant. You're getting breast cancer
Mhm.
because you're putting deodorant right underneath your lymph node, and it's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out. A little coconut oil, a little lemon, and let your body purge out. If you smell, go wipe off. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. This is meant for us to do.
So have you there's a product that's supposed to help black women not sweat from their scalp. But when you look at the ingredients, it's the exact same ingredients as the deodorant. It's the aluminum and stuff. And I'm like, why are you how is this lady selling this stuff? And women were actually wanting to buy it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Right on your scalp.
Listen, Kaleidoscope was toilet bowl cleaner. Yeah, yeah. The ingredients on Kaleidoscope is toilet bowl cleaner. Like seriously, if you go on my website, I got all the ingredients on my website. I'm allergic to like almost everything. Like I can't eat mayonnaise, I can't have eggs. So that means,
No,
oh,
no.
life hack, everybody, life hack. Since I'm allergic to eggs, right? I cannot have the vaccine because guess what they suspend the vaccine in? Ooh, egg
Thanks.
protein. So I can't have I'm like shots, all that stuff. I've never really had as a child. My grandmother was an RN. She kept me on herbal remedies. So all of this stuff that I'm teaching right now is stuff that I've been using for all of these years. And I feel like everybody should have it. Everybody.
Right.
Everybody. I'm not gatekeeping nothing. I want kids to be master herbalists. I want everybody can be a master herbalist. Everybody needs one, at least 2 or 3 in the family. That where you got a herbal medicine cabinet where you're not going to liquid stitches to break a bone. No, comfrey root. You know what I'm saying? Like I really have an alphabetical knowledge of herbs, and I don't know why, but the Most High really gave it to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like I have to give it back. It's not for me to keep. It's a gift to be given to the world. Like we're dying over relaxer. We're getting cancer from relaxer.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's crazy. I grew my own natural hair. I grew my hair. I've only been growing my locks for 7 years, but they're down to my butt. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High gave me a
Mhm.
formula in my dream to make hair oil. And what I do, I mix it together and it started growing people hair. We all got locks. You know what I'm saying? It works on natural hair, locked hair. I've been growing bald spots, edges. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I give samples away, like, because I just want people to know, like, you can, you know what I'm saying? You can get better. You know, but like
Mhm.
you
All
like you were
praises.
saying, the story that we're here about,
Mhm.
it really broke my heart when I found out about it. So Des Dior, if y'all don't know, Des Dior, she's a rapper. She was Future's ex-girlfriend from Atlanta. Jada Waiter's best friend, little baby mama. Her father raped, sodomized, sexually assaulted, battery, abused a 14-year-old little girl. And I happen to know the little girl's auntie, and I got the story from her months ago. And I tried to reach out to Storm Monroe. I tried to reach out to Tasha K, B with the T, every like black blogger that I knew that I watched normally on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Storm said no, he wasn't gonna do the legwork. He didn't want to do the legwork and get the information for the story. He was already arrested by that time. He pled out. He could have went to trial, but he pled out. This is what the mother has gone on to say. She said that.
Well, yeah, can you tell him how he got access to
Okay,
this 14-year-old?
yes. This is how the story goes, right? So the girl's mother, Alexis, her name is Alexis. The girl's mother, Alexis, she was living with Daryl. Her and Daryl were friends for many, many years, and she needed a place to stay. So she started paying. Daryl's like, oh, I got a place. I got this place I just used the studio there, or whatever the case may be. And you could stay there because I stay there sometime, but I don't really be there. So she was like, okay. So she moved her and her kids in, and she was paying rent, and she had to go to a funeral. Like, this is like a couple months after she moved in. Like, they had fingerprint ID, so she had the fingerprint. She had access to the cameras. If I don't want to misquote myself, but I know she had access to get in and out the house, and I think she had access to the cameras. I'm not sure. That's allegedly. So, family member died, and this girl 14, she got 2 twin brothers. They're 10 years old. They're all in one room in the house. So the mother leaves.
The mom and the kids are living in one room?
The mom, the daughter, they're all staying in one room in the house. You know what I'm saying?
What when you say one room, you mean like there's a bedroom, there's one bedroom and there's a living room, or you mean it's just one room?
No, it's a bedroom, it's a living room, but they just feel more comfortable being all together in that one room together. You know what I'm saying? The boys, the sister, and the mama. They feel more together being in one room together. They know that was just a temporary situation, so they just rather have all their stuff in their room. And then plus they didn't want to, they knew that he used it as a studio, so there would be guests probably coming in and out the area. So they just wanted to stay in their own little spot. You know what I'm saying? So she has to leave to go to a funeral in Ohio. So I got Ohio because remember I told you I thought it was New York, but it was Ohio. So she goes to the funeral in Ohio. Daryl Bailey, that's his name. Remember that man's name, Daryl Bailey, a 51-year-old predator, takes it upon himself to move the boy's bed out of the bedroom, proceeds to turn off the cameras in his own house, goes in the room, and literally savages this girl. I mean, it wasn't rape, it was savage. He ripped her peritoneum. He tried to eat her out, first of all, like she was a grown woman. He made her give him oral. He tried to rip her buttocks. He ripped her vagina. Yeah. This is like a 2 to 5 hour ordeal. Then after that, he proceeds to fall asleep with his arm around her to keep her captive.
This poor baby. That poor baby. So he's been convicted of this. None of this is alleged anymore.
No,
This is
it's
all
all
been proven in a court of law.
This is not alleged. He did this. They have proof. Matter of fact, the proof was so overwhelming that he knew that if he took this to trial, he was going to get more years. So they gave him 35 years to life without the chance of parole. So he got to at least do 35 years before even trying to get any chance to get out. You know what I'm saying? But I think the judge put a extra stipulation on the proceeding to where that he's not ever getting out. Never. And he's got to be registered sex offender for the rest of his life, but he's never getting out.
As he should.
Now, the real tea is that at the court proceedings, right? I heard the audio of the court proceedings. And like I said, we would have had the audio, but anyway. His wife, I'm not sure if that's Des Dior's mom or not, but his wife said, we got to go through this again. And everybody was like, we got to go through this again. And then she was like saying, oh, her mama put her up to this. She was doing this for clout. The judge was like, mute her, like, turn her video off, mute her, because it's done on
the Zoom court.
A Zoom court. You know what I'm saying?
The mother, his wife was saying,
if that's Des' mama or not.
Right.
But yeah, his wife said that. I'm like, we already had to go through this. We got to go through this again. And she want clout. Her mama put her up to this. She was being fresh around him. And that was what her...
Not her trying to blame the little girl.
Yeah. That's what hurt me the most, because it's always like that. How many times do we know when something happens to a black little girl, she gets blamed for being fast and being fresh.
She was being fresh, right? Oh, excuse me. She lost me at the again. Because listen, now there's some things we can struggle with, and there's some things I'm gonna ride with you with. But no, that ain't one of them. No, pimp. That's where I get off the train. If the choice is ride or die, then I'm out.
Right. I'm not dying over this. I'm good.
No.
Right.
No. That is crazy.
Right.
So you had said that his family was trying to evict them after all of this happened.
Yes. After she went to the police and everything, and after he got arrested, because he got arrested, they arrested him immediately, like right after she went to the hospital and got the rape kit and told him whoever it was. Des Dior herself came to the house with the police and tried to evict the mama and the daughter. And not to mention, the mama knows Des. She knows these people. It's not like they brand new. These are not just random people that she just met. She's known them for years. The kids were comfortable. The kids were comfortable enough to be like, okay, we'll move in this spot with you. You know what I'm saying? Because the boys are 10 and her daughter is 14. They're old enough to say, yo, mom, we don't want to be here. We don't know this person, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Des came with
did she have anywhere else to go?
No, she was in between jobs. She just lost her job. She didn't really have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? She was really like bouncing around. She didn't know if she wanted to go to New York or, stay in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So, but, it was just like he was doing her a solid, and it wasn't like she wasn't paying rent. She was paying rent. She gave that man $1,000.
I don't think she wasn't paying rent, like.
Right, because because sometimes people would assume like, oh, she's staying there for free. Well, what do you expect? No, I don't expect you freaking.
I don't expect that. Right. What kind of predator mind? That is a predator mindset. I don't expect that.
Right.
And we're adults. Let's do this amongst the adults. Why would you involve a 14-year-old?
Right. He been plotting on that girl. He been plotting on her. Because you turn off the cameras. You knew you chose to. You moved her brothers out of the room, kept her phone from her so she couldn't call for help, covered her mouth so them boys couldn't hear her screaming. Then she went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Did this. When she woke up, he was gone. Her brothers had to see her like this. You know what I'm saying? This affected not only her, but them boys too, because now they're gonna have a complex. She's not ever gonna trust a man. You know what I'm saying? This is how come in because they get molested by men and then they think, oh, let me go turn to women. Like a woman's going to, you know what I'm saying,
A
do any
man hurt
better.
me.
Like, no. You know what I'm saying? I knew when I found out that this was going down, I wanted to scream to the world like we are an endangered species, Black women. We're not even Black, y'all. We Hebrew, but that's nor here nor there. That's for a different conversation. But we're unprotected. And then when a man does protect us, then it's like with the whole Monique, her husband standing up for her. That's what he's
Yeah.
supposed to do. Y'all
Right.
mad because y'all ain't seen that in a while. So it's a
Yeah.
foreign concept. Nah, he doing what he's supposed to do as a husband, and she doing what she's supposed to do as a wife, following her husband lead, and that's what they supposed to do. But when a Black man stands up for a Black woman, it's we're public enemy number one. No, they're afraid of that because the most dangerous, powerful thing in this world is the love of a Black man and a Black woman. Point blank, period.
Facts. Oh my gosh. I mean, my heart goes out to that girl. My heart goes out to that girl and her mom. And I've been a single mom. Okay. I've been a single mom. But I can't imagine leaving my children in a home with an adult man that's like not related to them. Not saying that relatives don't do stuff to their, I'm not saying that. But I just think this should serve as a cautionary tale. You can't trust anybody with your kids. You can't trust anybody with your kids. And like I say all the time, we always like to talk about, well, if anybody do anything to my kid, okay, but it's too late now. This girl is traumatized. Who knows the effect that this can have on her. I pray that her mother gets her the help that she needs, and that she can heal from that. Because I can't imagine. Anyway, thank you for sharing that story with us. And listen, if you guys want to go back and clarify anything she said, is right there on Google. I bought her in because she has firsthand knowledge of the situation. So I was like, yes, you have to talk about this. I was scrolling TikTok and saw her on live. So I definitely had to bring her on here to talk about this. So let's give everybody your IG. Tell us how we can get in contact with you. Tell us how we can keep up with you.
I am MUGGLYFE 007. That's Muglife 007 on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG. Y'all also can follow my regular page, which is Chanel McMillan on Facebook. Muglife007.com is my website for all your herbal needs. I have my Sagai hair growth serum. If you can see that. That's the new label too. That's for my curly girls. I and Life 007 on everything. Maturing under God's grace, loving y'all forever. Killing them diseases like a spy 007.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
and sharing your business and sharing that story with us. We have to have you back again soon because this information was very, very helpful. I'm sure some people are going to be having more questions. So thank you so much, sis.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Shalom.
I appreciate you. Shalom.
All right, y'all. You can reach that good sis at Muglife007. I did put it in the chat. Shalom to everyone who came in. The Light Hebrew Magazine was up, Sister Delta, Tiana, Shalom, and Shalom. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Now, to get to our main topic, and let me tell y'all, I did not. What did I come up with first? I don't remember. Okay. But I did not plan this to coincide like this. This is just the way things happen. Okay. So, okay, here we go. I was what the main topic. You're not a cougar, you're a predator. I was watching I was watching the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Okay. Y'all know me. Okay. Y'all know me. I was watching the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. And Giselle Bryant is on there proudly talking about how she is in a situationship with a younger man. I think this man is in his 20s or 30s. Anyway, this man is closer in age to her children than he is to her. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. All right. And she's, everybody's like, are you in a relationship? Are you in a relationship? And she's like, no, we're in a situationship, you know. And so it got me to thinking like this. We always come down on men, okay? And I'm not saying it's not deserved. When it's deserved, it's deserved. No, like this story we just heard, no, I'm not talking about that, okay? We always come down on men for having relationships with younger women, right? If you see a 38-year-old man and a 20-year-old girl or 21-year-old girl, you'll say, oh no, that man is taking advantage of her. She's too young for him, blah, 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 blah. We'll sit back and say, well, clearly he's not smart enough to carry on a conversation with a woman of his own age. Why does he have to, date younger women? But for some reason, well, not for some reason, I read a study, and in the study, I'm going to share some of the points from this study in a little bit. But in this study, it speaks to how, because of feminism, women are perceived, there's just a blanket perception of innocence and sexual purity when it comes to women and their sexual behavior. It's like, let's get into it because it's gonna come up, okay? And what I specifically want to address is I want to specifically address the situation of older Black women and younger Black men. And listen, I'm not talking about, 240 somethings or 40 something. I'm not even talking about a 40 something and a 60 something. Once you get past a certain point, okay. But let me tell you that just because the law says that 18 is the age of consent does not mean that you and your old ripe age should be trying to have sex with, mate with, or be in any kind of sexual relationship with an 18, 19, 20-year-old. I'm telling you right now, listen, if you got a 3 in front of your age, you shouldn't be dating anybody under 25. Why? Why are you saying that? They're legal. Listen, there's such a thing as life experience. And just like you feel like girls should have the ability to grow up and to mature in a healthy and stable way and then be introduced to sex at a time when they decide, why is it that you feel like Black boys don't have that same right? Why do we not grant that same right to Black boys? I'm going to read this. It's from Female Sexual Predators, Understanding and Identifying Them to Protect Our Children and Youth. Karen Duncan argues that the radical feminist perspective has fixed in the minds of scholars and policymakers the view that all sexual violence is unidirectional male to female violence. Okay. So what the author is saying is, listen, the way that academia and all the policymakers, and this is the thing we have to understand, like they'll use words like scholars and academia and policymakers. And what this really boils down to is the people that are making decisions that are affecting you and I every day. Okay. So let's go on. They're saying that these people are saying that, listen, when it comes to cases of sexual violence, the only way there can be sexual violence is if it's male on female. Okay. Duncan explains the view of females as victims of dominant males was developed in the historical context and socio-political view arising from radical feminist scholarship. Radical feminist scholarship. Okay. This particular feminist framework has been a significant influence in the literature on child sexual abuse and adult rape for several years. It may be that this traditional framework, even with its apparent limitations, and it says possible bias, but I'm going to say bias because you've already labeled it radical feminist scholarship. So clearly it's already biased. Continues to have an influence on how female violence is viewed and child sexual abuse in particular is framed. The socio-political framework of violence may influence some groups of the public, law enforcement, and professional opinions in spite of the evidence indicating that females are capable and willing to exert violence against others without the influence or presence of a male. Okay, and what this is saying is, listen, it's been proven over and over again that women are just as capable of being just as brutal and as savage as their male counterparts, whether a man is present or not, right? Because according to the radical feminist scholarship, there has to be a man at fault. There has to be a man that is responsible for every aspect of sexual violence because let's read this. The theory of rape offered by feminism often focused on women as victims, particularly the sexual vulnerability the female body has to the physical violence of men. So funny how the feminists will say we're equal, we're just as strong, we should be able to do anything men do. But when it comes to rape and sexual violence, oh no, my body leaves me vulnerable to be more attacked than you. Let's go on. The situating of the women as victims overdetermines maleness as the cause of violence and men the perpetrators of violence against women. When dealing with rape and the problem of sexual violence against men, feminist gender analysis has continued to assert that males are perpetrators of violence in their relation to women, not victims of sexual violence from women. So again, what are you talking about? Women, there's no way that women can be sexually violent towards men. Like it just doesn't exist. Miriam Denav, a noted scholar of child violence, explains societal perceptions of females as sexually passive and innocent appear to have an important influence on the criminal law, on victim reporting practices, and on professional attitudes, reflecting an implicit negation of women as potential sexual aggressors. Sexual offending has long been viewed within society as a male-only crime. Males are perceived as controlling all sexual encounters, and female are passive and submissive recipients, even when the male is a child and the female is an adult. So it means no matter what, no matter the age, no matter the obvious disparities that could exist, because the male is a child, we act like men aren't entitled to their childhood. Like they don't have a right to grow up and to come into their sexuality at a correct time. Okay, let's keep going. Right, like, okay, Mary Kay Letourneau, exactly. She had sex with her 13-year-old student, 2 babies. Oh, they had 2 babies? That's crazy. Went to jail and got out to marry him afterward. There's a movie about that on Netflix, and I just didn't finish watching it, but it was a reporter that was, like, observing them for an article that she was gonna write, but I just didn't finish watching it. But, yeah, I definitely remember that story. Okay, here we go. Because female perpetrators of sexually violence are seemingly impossible to imagine, they are cloaked from the eyes of social scientists and theorists alike. Deborah S. Burrows remarks, sexual abuse of children by women is a crime that seems so unnatural that it offends society's moral instincts, causing the issue to be relatively unexplored by social scientists. Like many abhorrent characteristics of human behavior, people often ignore or deny that which they are unwilling to accept or acknowledge. And now let's think about this. The thought of a female committing this act is just so out of the realm for what society considers, for what society needs to consider normal in order to remain quote unquote civilized, that people will just ignore it. There's no way that this can happen if we acknowledge that this happened. Then this destroys our whole structure. This destroys our whole thought. So instead of us coming to the reality that yes, in fact, this thing does happen. Yes, in fact, our young black men are being victimized by these older black women. We're just going to ignore it. We're just going to ignore it because to imagine that it happens would be crazy. But I'm about to present you proof that it happens. And see, some topics I have just determined, like some topics I'm not just going to come at y'all without proof about. I like to have everything. I'm giving you an answer. It's going to be a Bible-based answer. Okay. So we're discussing this situation right here. I need scholarship to prove what I'm saying. Okay. So here we go. And this is the main point that I wanted to get to. This is going to cinch my point. Black males have the earliest sexual debut of any group in the United States. Black boys often report first intercourse between 12 and 14 years of age. The sexual debut of their peer girl group is much later. Understand what they're saying? Black boys are saying they're losing their virginity at about 12 to 14, but black girls aren't losing their virginity until much later. So their first intercourse is likely with older women. Because if they aren't having sex with girls their age, we're talking about 12 and 14-year-olds. They aren't having sex with girls their age. Girls their age aren't having sex till much later. So who are the young black men having sex with? The earliest studies conducted by white social scientists in the mid 20th century interpreted the earlier age of sexual debut amongst blacks as evidence of their racial inferiority, lack of morality, and hypersexuality. A lot of times, I talk about how we have a hand in our own destruction. This is a case in point right here. The adult women, the older women who are supposed to be nurturing these black boys and teaching these black boys how to treat women when they grow up, and teaching them their role as men, and helping them to appreciate a woman, and our softness and our femininity. Y'all are sitting up here abusing these boys, abusing them, taking away, I'm not going to say any hope, but making it awfully hard for them to have any type of normal sexual appetite. Don't believe me? I'll keep reading. I'm not making it up. I'll keep reading. Okay. These mid 20th century studies observed that black males were the group most likely to have their earliest first sexual intercourse when compared to white males and females, as well as black females. Okay. So out of any other group, black females, white males, or white females, black males are having their sexual encounter at the earliest age. These studies were often used as evidence of the hypersexuality of Black men and boys and attributed the early sexual debut of Negro boys to promiscuity, the cultural delinquency of Black families, and the innate hypersexual nature of the Negro race. But then Black women will turn around and say that they're the victims of the hypersexualization of the Negro race. But this says that Black women may be actually partly, I'm not going to put it all on you, okay? But you're actually partly responsible for the hypersexualization of the Negro race because you're out here with your 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old selves molesting these teenagers. So you're responsible for the thing that you claim to be a victim of. Talk about taking on the ways of your oppressor. Gardiner and obviously some other authors argue that unlike their white middle class counterparts who learn about sex from their mothers and fathers, Black boys learn about sex in the streets. Masturbation generally begins early 6 to 8. On the whole, masturbation does not play much of a role in the growing lower class boy. This is due to the early opportunities for relations with women. First intercourse at 7 or 9 is not uncommon and very frequent in early adolescence, usually with girls much older. So look, they're skipping a whole part. They're skipping a whole part of sexual development. You just jumping them right to it. And it's not lost on me that this is the same demographic of women complaining right now about the condition of the Black men and why these boys walking around like this and what's wrong with these boys. And you've been messing them up. You've been messing them up in the head. That's why they can't have stable, normal marriages and stable, normal families and relationships. Hold on. I think I didn't read that part. Okay. While various studies have established that male victims of child sexual abuse suffer from an increased propensity towards self-harm, alcoholism, guilt, shame, emasculation, anxiety, and depression, there's a seemingly unshakable belief that as males, young boys are unaffected by sexual victimization, that they do not personally suffer, and that sex with an older woman is pleasurable rather than traumatic. This silent suffering, the product of males' inability to disclose their victimization because the world simply does not believe men and boys are victims of sexual violence, can be socially and psychologically debilitating. In other words, all that stuff that we want to claim happens to young girls when they're molested, it's happening to young boys too. All this victimization that we want to say, oh, we're Black women, we're just victimized from the time we come out the womb. Even our relatives, guess what? It's happening to Black boys too. But what we've allowed feminism to do is to somehow put us on a pedestal and make us think that our suffering is so much more greater that when a group of us decides to victimize Black men, hush, don't you worry about that. Look at me over here suffering. And not to say that the Black woman isn't suffering. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is Black men need help just as much as Black women do. That our Black boys need our help. These Black boys need our protection. One of the reasons why I just do not want to send my Black boys to public school is because it's been proven that when white Authority figures see black boys. They don't see boys. They see full grown on men that they decide to perceive as a threat. They're not going to see my 6-year-old as a 6-year-old. They're not going to see my 8-year-old as an 8-year-old. They don't know that my 8-year-old is soft-spoken. He don't like to be the center of attention. So sometimes he'll shut down if he gets overwhelmed. They're going to want to take that and medicate him and tell him that something's wrong with him instead of just accepting, no, this is his child's personality. But according to this, we can't even, it's not just white authority figures that are doing this. It's older black women. It's the black women who's supposed to be in charge. The quote unquote matriarchs of the family, the big mamas in them. You're raping and molesting these young boys and messing them up. And then as soon as they grow up and start acting out, you want to be the first one pointing the finger, the first one talking about how he need to be locked up and be in jail. And the whole time you're the cause of it. You done freaking sexually tried to take advantage of this boy. You sexually took advantage of this boy, and then you gonna turn around and try to discipline him? And then you wonder why he can't think straight about women? You wonder why it's hard for him to respect women and their feelings? Please. Please. The black man is not at fault for everything. And we have got to stop acting like, oh, everything that's wrong with black people is the black man's fault. No, and we've got to stop doing that in 2024. That is enough. And I think if we could just get that part straight, then maybe we could just put our heads together and figure out where to go from here. But as long as we refuse to hold ourselves accountable, then nobody's going anywhere. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to the comments. Usually a family member, and that's a man telling y'all that. Same thing y'all like to say about girls. Oh, it's an uncle. Oh, it's Grandpa Chester. Well, guess what? It's Auntie Chester child molester. Okay? It's Big Mama Chester child molester. Stranger danger is for the aunties and them too. Mothers, stop leaving your sons around these women. Listen, I know nobody like to say, oh, marriage ain't all that. Listen, I don't trust nobody who is not happily and stably married. I don't trust you. You have not proven that you are a safe and stable person. No, I'm not leaving my child over here with you. No, I'm not even leaving my husband around you. It's becoming more and more common and skyrocketing the divorce rate. We all know, I don't know if y'all know the story about Portia and Simon and how, he was with another woman, but the woman that he was with, this lady's in her 40s, I want to say, got pregnant by their pool boy who was in his 20s. After she got pregnant by him, moved in with him, not just her and her children, she brought her mama and her sisters. They were on another reality dating show. They come on VH1. Oh my gosh, what is it called? They was at the beach last time. Oh my gosh, y'all help me out. I can't think of the name of the show, but it was another it was kind of like Marriage Boot Camp, but it wasn't that because it's on VH1. But it was on like one of those Save Our Relationship shows. And he was talking about how, listen, I'm so young. I didn't sign up for all this. He thought he was just getting him some free booty. But it turned into a whole situation where he's supporting this woman and her family. Predator. Freaking predator. I wish some 40-year-old woman would try to climb on one of my 20-year-old sons. You're going to have to see me. You don't have to see me. And not Miss Mono either. Okay? It is sad. Right. Mad, angry, because they're confused. You have to come to a point of acknowledging your own trauma. Like, you have to come to a point where you've taken accountability of yourself before you can experience looking at other people and wishing that you were normal like them. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But, for the longest time, I've never been able to have a long-term relationship. Like, never. Just wasn't a thing for me. I don't know why, but it wasn't until I got with this man right here, my lovely dad. It wasn't until I got with him that I was able to start to build, start to sustain, that I had the consistency, that I wanted to be committed like that. But I always used to look at girls who had boyfriends for years and all this other stuff and feel like something was wrong with me. Like, and yes, of course it was. But I would sit there and wonder, like, oh, why I can't have that like everybody else? Why do you feel like black men don't go through that as well? Why do you feel like black boys don't want to be loved too? It used to hurt me when I would see other black girls with their dad. Being a dad with them, spending time with them, doing things with them, just talking to them. It would hurt me. It's like, why my dad don't love me enough? Why I can't have a dad? Why do you feel like black boys don't go through the same thing? Why do you feel like they aren't entitled to a normal childhood, a normal upbringing, and a normal rate of development? And who are you to decide to take that from them? Happily married. Happily and stably married. Not y'all breaking up every few months or nothing. No, happily and stably married. Well, let me tell you what stability shows me. Stability shows me that you have enough self-control to not let minor issues blow up your whole situation. You have enough self-control to not let your minor issues dictate your behavior to a point that you're going to sin. Okay, I'm not saying that sometimes, my mouth don't do some things that I don't want it to do, some things happen. I'm not about to step out on my husband. I'm not about to sin. I'm not about to do none of that. I'm about to just go in my office and shut up and close my door and cry about it. Cry about it. Talk to the Most High about it. And then we go, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Crazy. All right, so let me read this last part to y'all. No, second to last part. But this is a good example of what I'm saying. The literature concerning the violations of young black males is practically non-existent. And we know it's happening. But the literature on it is non-existent. Listen, when I went to look for information on this, I first Googled black women commit statutory rape. All of the articles came up about black women and black girls being victims. I had to go back and Google black men statutory rape. And even then, I had to keep scrolling until I found a study that talked about black men and black boys being victims, because everything else is just about the black woman being a victim. Okay, but let's go. Among the most well-known sources is an NPR interview. Sexual abuse is often taboo for black boys. This came out in 2009. The interview begins with a discussion of the rapper Lil Wayne's sexual history. According to Lil Wayne, he lost his virginity at the age of 11 to a 14-year-old girl. Among black male rappers, Lil Wayne's story is not unfamiliar. Chris Brown claims he lost his virginity at the age of 8. Atlanta rapper and producer T.I. told Tyra Banks he lost his virginity at 11. Hip-hop singer T-Pain claims he was only 10, while Flavor Flav confessed in his memoir to first having sex at the age of 6. And let me just say this for you, those of y'all that want to be like, well, it was a 14-year-old. If why is you okay with your daughter being so nasty? There's a big difference between 14 and 11, especially when you're talking about girls and boys. Okay, y'all be the first ones when to talk about, oh, girls mature so much faster. So technically, you're talking about a 21-year-old because what y'all say, girls mature 7 times faster than boys. So technically, you're talking about the mind of a 21-year-old and an 11-year-old, and you think that's okay? No, even within those boundaries of childhood, there needs to be separation in peer groups. It is not okay for your 14-year-old girl to be humping on an 11-year-old. It's not okay for her to be humping on anything at all. But not an 11-year-old. Nasty. Okay. Over the last year, more Black celebrities have come forward with their stories of being victimized as children by older women. The comedian D. Ray Davis told DJ Vlad, a well-known hip-hop journalist, whatever, that he was sexually assaulted by 2 ugly, horrible-looking women in their 30s when he was only 11 years old. I was 11 going on 12. I had no hair on it was disgusting. He didn't even have hair on it. 2 30-year-old women? Come on now. The hip-hop artist Peter Gunz had a similar experience, admitting recently that he was sexually assaulted by an older woman as a child. Gunz said, she made me scared to tell. When I got older, 14, 15, the girlfriends I had, I was pressuring them into having sex. I feel like I took the abuse that I got and put it on other people. I always will regret that. You're abusing men who are going out here and abusing other women. But let a man look at you the wrong way and all of a sudden he's a perv and he's a creep and he's cringy. These men recounted stories of their first sexual experience taking place before they were teenagers. The lives of some of the aforementioned victims have often been surrounded by turmoil, depression, domestic abuse, and sexual promiscuity. Y'all like to talk about Chris Brown all the time. Not saying that he wasn't wrong. We all saw Peter Gunz on national TV have one girlfriend on one floor and move his other girlfriend into another floor of the same building. He had them both pregnant at the same time. We all saw it. We all laughed and watched, not understanding that this man had been molested as a child. And who knows if he ever got a... Come on now, y'all know Black people don't go to counseling. If they can afford counseling, if they even have the resources to consider counseling. So where was he going to get the help? We always like to point the finger, but never consider that one of our own could have been the cause of this. While it has been noted in previous literature that Black males are freer with their sexuality and do not hold to the same puritanical ideas as the majority of white culture, further research into the consequences of preteen sexual events amongst Black males is warranted. And so there's no literature on the abuse of Black boys by older women, but there is literature that says that Black males are, quote, freer with their sexuality and do not hold to the same puritanical. And if y'all don't understand what puritanical means, you're talking about pure biblical basically ideas, think Puritans as a majority white culture. But the fact of the matter is that that's not true. let me not say that that's not true. Let me say that in a normal train of thought, that would not be true. Um, this article, hold on, is this what I wanted to read? Okay, yes, this is gonna kind of sum up because this is a it's a dual it's like a dual weaponized issue because you're dealing with the issue of race and then you're also dealing with the issue of gender. And what the study talks about is how when you look at a white man, him being a male already gives him an air of dominance. Him being a male already gives him an air of dominance. But when you are talking about a black male, the fact that he is black in the eyes of society, he is entitled to less dominance than a white man. He's already discounted as a man because he's black. Okay. And so now when you talk about female victimization, all of this piled on top of each other, not to mention racialized misandry, and we're talking about just a hatred for black men here. All of this confers to kind of put black men in this bubble where even when they are truly honest victims, no one wants to hear them, no one wants to believe them, and no one wants to help them. In this study, they interviewed 5 different black men and talked about their early sexual experiences. And one of the men, well, more than one of the men talked about how it was a family member, it was a cousin, it was my mom's friend. My mom's friend was living with us. My mom's friend came to visit. And he goes on to say, like, I wish that this had never happened to me. And he's like, please do not leave your sons around older women, just like you don't want to leave your daughters around men because you're scared that that man is going to take advantage of your daughter. The same thing can happen to your son. I don't know, why we get this perception that a boy child, a black male child can fight off a female that's older than him. Even when you're talking about the case of an 11-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, this boy has not went through puberty yet. This girl more than likely has already started puberty. So she's already stronger than him. It's not until they get older that they become stronger than us. We know this. So that same devotion, that same sense of protection that we have for our daughters, we need to start having it for our sons as well. Stop leaving your sons with just any and everybody. Stop dropping your sons off at any and everybody's house. Okay. I'm going to read this last part. Is this the last part? Yes. I'm going to read this last part from the study. The effects of sexual violations are dire for young Black boys. While studies have generally noted that increased psychological stress, anxiety, depression, and self-harm of male victims, Black males who are precariously situated in a white supremacist and white patriarchal society are much more likely to be criminalized and thereby victims of fatal force by law enforcement if they display any of the symptoms common to sexually abused victims. So, because of the fact that Black men are more likely to be killed by the people that they are supposed to seek to get help from, they can't even report this because they're going to be criminalized. As women, we fear not talking about rape because no one's going to believe us. No one's going to believe us. But imagine being a Black man and not only worrying about nobody's going to believe you, but they may possibly try to blame me for this. They may possibly try to make this my fault. So I definitely can't tell anyone. Marked by a social stigma of hypermasculinity, criminality, and violence, Black men and boys are rarely thought of as victims of sexual violence. To many, Black males are solely perpetrators of violence. While Black men or boys are discussed regarding sexual violence, far too often they are cast as the rapist, never the victim of rape or sexual exploitation by the men and women in their community. Whereas previous research has shown the difficulty of recognizing males as anything more than perpetrators of sexual violence, for Black men, their recognition as victims is practically impossible. It is nearly impossible. And as I was reading about the methods that they use to collect information for this study, they announced the study, right? And then they had people text the phone number if they were interested. So once they text the phone number, they would send them the link to read the informed consent. And if you're not familiar with informed consent, it's just listing everything that could possibly take place. So in this case, they're doing a scientific study. So it's just listing everything that could possibly take place during the study. And so one clause of the study says, we will have to report all incidences of inappropriate behavior, regardless of state statutory limitations. And so many men did not proceed after that point. Like once they found out that the authority or the police could possibly be involved, they were no longer interested in sharing their story because of the fear of victimization. And so with reading all this, it really has me to wonder, are Black feminists really interested in equality with Black men? And I've said this before, no one wants to be equal. Everyone just wants their chance to be superior. But what we fail to recognize is that other groups of people will move as a unit. The Asian woman is not seeking to be superior without her man. The white woman is not seeking to be superior without her man. The Mexican woman, the African woman, no other group of women besides American descendants of slaves. Let me be specific when I say Black, because for some reason these days it's like anybody with brown skin is considered Black. I don't know when that double speak started. But so I'm talking about Israelites, descendants of slaves, people who were kidnapped and bought here and their descendants. I'm talking about us. We are the loudest when it comes to bashing our men and wanting to avert control over them, even in the eyes of the world. Because we refuse to submit. I don't care what kind of definition you're going to put on it. Nobody's going to tell me what to do about anything. See, as far as the world is concerned, anything my husband says, I 100% agree. If he tell me the sky's purple and we here on this live, yep, boo, the sky's purple. Yep, that's right, boo, the sky's purple. Now, when we get off the live, I'm on, honey, are you sure the sky is purple? Why don't we go and take a look? You know what I'm saying? But y'all not gonna know about that. And I'm oversimplifying this as an example. Instead of us as Black women working on our issues behind closed doors, we'll blast it out to the world. These Black men ain't ish. They're leaving their babies. They're horrible. They're this and they're that. But we get mad when they do it to us. We get mad when they talk about us in front of everybody. There was an article about Kyla Pratt and her baby daddy. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it, a baby daddy. And supposedly they've been engaged for 16 years, right? And of course, the comments was, let her do what she want to do. If that's what she want to do, that's fine. It's on her. Da 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 da. But I guarantee you that if they were to break up, and he was to start dating someone and get married to that woman 6 months later, it would be all his fault. He would be a dog. He would just be horrible. Oh, this is how men do. He just drug her along all that time and da 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 da. See, the reason why you can't say that marriage is not the goal is because why be engaged? Why get engaged? Why, if marriage, engagement, the proposal, the exchanging of the ring, that is all in preparation or an expectation of a marriage. If you are not preparing or expecting a marriage, then why go through this? And let's not act like 9 times out of 10, 9.95 times out of 10, it's the woman that's sitting around waiting for the man to take the final step. I know this one's different. How you know? How you know? See, because we'll watch our cousins, aunties, uncles, we'll watch everybody else around us go through something, and we'll think that for some reason, because they're a celebrity, that the same kind of common sense doesn't apply in their world. And so I've noticed that it seems like when Black women are commenting on other Black women celebrities, because they have a certain type of status as these celebrities, these women are just exempt from common sense, even though Jay-Z's cheated on Beyonce. But these celebrity women are just exempt from, y'all seen what Future did to Sierra. But they're just exempt from any kind of stuff. And it's not about let her do what she wants to do. It all goes back to us not wanting to be held accountable. I was watching a clip of an old Ayanna Van Sant episode, and the mom was like 600 pounds, couldn't get out the bed. It was so bad that she was using the bathroom in her bed. She's using the bathroom in her bed, and her 24-year-old, from the time the girl was 19, she was 24 at the time. So for 5 years, this girl had been wiping her mother's behind after she used the bathroom in the bed. Only because she let herself get so big to the point that she was scared to walk down her own hallway. And when Ayanna went to meet with the other women in the family, with her sisters and nieces or whatever, some of the aunties had the nerve to say that the daughter wasn't doing enough and was being disrespectful to the mom. And Ayanna had to tell them, well, how much respect do you want her to have for this woman when she has to wipe her behind every day? How would you want her to regard her? And we have to get out of this mindset as Black women that we're owed respect just because we exist. No, just like everyone else has to earn their respect, so do you. I'm not talking about basic human decency. Hi, how you doing? Bye, see you later. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this respect as wanting to be regarded, as the queen mother, the end all be all, the matriarch of the family. Well, what have you done to earn that besides run your mouth? See, there was a time when the family counted on the big mama for survival. We was poor. We ain't have nothing else. Grandma house, everybody lived at grandma house. I know I can speak for my family. Me and my brother, my mom was in one room. My cousin and my aunt was in another room. My uncle was in another room, and my grandma was in another room. All living there with grandma. Okay, so listen, when you living with somebody, when you count on that person to keep a roof over your head, yeah, you gotta abide by what they say. Anything goes. But we at the age and time now where we got our own money now, and we don't have to take that. You got to start treating us with some kind of decency and respect, and you have got to stop abusing young Black boys. Period. It's not cute. I don't care what white women do. I don't care about, hey, Mrs. Robinson. I don't care about none of that. I'm trying to prevent the extension of my race. I would like my sons to have decent Israelite law-abiding women to marry when they become of age. As it is right now, I'm scared to let my child even talk to some of y'all kids the way they be out here looking and acting. I don't want my child socializing with that. Y'all might call me crazy, but okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to these comments. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. If you like something I said, you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono, please head over to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do, but 3, 4, 5s, we'll take that. What you say? They should have been stoned. They should have been. Just like y'all want the men to be stoned, these women should be stoned too. No, the same energy that y'all had when we was listening to that story about that 51-year-old man assaulting that 14-year-old girl, keep that same energy when it's a 51-year-old woman and a 14-year-old boy. Same energy. Stone them, sew it up, castrate them. There's such thing as female castration. Castrate them. They don't deserve that kind of pleasure anymore. You don't know how to use it, you lose it. Me for president, okay? You're right, Shatterkiss. How was boxing? Hard? Yeah. It wasn't horrible. Peter Guns was wild. He was, and still is, as far as I know. It is very sad. It is very sad. The nurturers. We're supposed to nurture. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to exude the softer side of life. Here we are being aggressive, and we wonder why our boys grow up so hard and so emotionally handicapped, why they can't express themselves, why they don't know how to communicate. Because the people who were supposed to teach them that was too busy trying to take advantage of them. That's why they don't know how to do it. That's why. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope something that I said will help you today. Whether you're listening live or on the replay, shout out to the people that listen on the replay. You are just as much loved as everyone else. I understand that schedules sometimes prevent people from going live, coming on here when I'm live. But I love you so much anyway. If you have not had a chance, go and check out the Light Hebrew magazine. I need to make a little button for them, and I'm going to. The Light Hebrew magazine, TLHmagazine.net. You can check out the latest Drip and Sip issue, the latest regular issue, the 2-page spread by your girl at Miss Mono's World, and a lot of other good righteous content, different news about different righteous artists. It's an amazing magazine. Make sure y'all check it out. The Light Hebrew magazine. You can Google it. It'll come right up. And you can definitely peruse the digital copy. Are you gonna run down the family businesses for us? Atticus with our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Atticus.
Are Bounces and Mono's West Side Boys are the puppies.
All right, Atticus, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to work on this script. We're going to get him a script because he's going to be our sponsor announcer. So we got to get him a script, right? And as per usual, Paxton, you going to come say hi? Paxton sleep over to the side, y'all, but at least he came down here. We appreciate that. Thank you, Paxton. He is tired, huh? Did y'all hear about Whitney? I meant to talk to y'all about this in the beginning. Did y'all hear yesterday? Yeah, yesterday Wendy's was talking about they were going to start surge pricing. They used so what happened was the CEO in a stock call, the calls that they had with the stockbrokers and stuff, it was an earnings report call. And the stockbrokers are there, the press is there. This is when the company tells them, how they're doing financially, their plans to grow and expand, whatever. Okay, so one of the plans that the CEO had announced was dynamic pricing, and he said it would be similar to Uber, and Lyft, where basically the food is going to cost more during their busiest hours. You know how Uber has surge pricing, right? And when it's busiest, the ride costs more. So Wendy's had announced that this is what they were going to do. They were going to start jacking up their prices at their busiest times. Well, apparently, honey, the people was in an uproar, and he backtracked that statement this morning and was like, no, we're not going to do surge pricing. What we'll do is offer other discounts. So what it sounds like to me is they're going to jack up the prices of the menu and then offer discounts at their busiest times. The discount being what would have been the regular prices before they decided to jack everything up. Either way, I'm done with Wendy's. I'm done with Wendy's. I like Wendy's too. I do. I love that. I feel the least guilty about eating Wendy's. And I know it's all, tricks and propaganda and everything else. But when it comes to a fast food burger place, I feel the least guilty about Wendy's. Bad. Like I did something wrong. That's guilty.
So why would you go to Burger?
I said I feel the least guilty about Wendy's. That don't mean I don't go to Burger King. That just means when I go to Wendy's, I feel a little less bad than I do when I go to Burger King or McDonald's. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna have to cancel Wendy's because they tripping, right?
No.
They are.
What do you mean?
Because they want to make the hamburgers cost more because more people want them. So if the hamburger is $5, at dinner time, the hamburger will be like $8. Is that fair? Does that sound fair to you? No, it should be $5 all the time, right?
Yes.
Greedy. People are being greedy, and that is why they are doing it.
That is a big scam. Because when someone will go to Wendy's, they'll say how much it will cost, and they'll say $5. And then when they go to Wendy's the other time, but it's nighttime, they'll say it's $8, and then they'll say, what?
Right, exactly. Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah. See, and if even a 6-year-old recognizes that this is a scam, I don't know what they thought they was going to pull on the rest of us. Thank you, Atticus, for your breakdown of that situation. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't mess up your face. Don't do that. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this evening. We are going to be live again next Thursday, 8 p.m. Same black time, same black station. Please, if you are not already following myself, I am at Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets on all these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm going to get back on TikTok more. I mean, I see people be going in on the lives. I'm going to get the nerve to go there one day. If you are not already following my illustrious husband, the love of my life, my baby's daddy, at Monologue Magad, ladies and gentlemen, MONOLOGMAGAD. If you have ideas, suggestions, things that you want to discuss, things that you would like to see me write about in the magazine, I do kind of have an advice column. If you want to call it, you can hit me up at missmonosworld@gmail.com. If you would like to submit a question for a friend, that's fine. You can just put, this is for a friend. I'd like to remain anonymous. No problem. They crawfish on that statement super quick. Okay. It wasn't even a whole 24 hours. The man was like, never mind, y'all. My bad. So yeah, they got some kind of trick up their sleeve though. I don't trust it. All right. MissMonosWorld@gmail.com. All right. For your advice, your questions, your suggestion, content ideas. Please, I'm always looking for them. If you happen to make a clip of tonight's show, please tag me in it so that I can use it and repost it for you. I'm not good at knowing what people like that I say. Okay, I've tried it on my own and it's just I'm not successful. So if I say something that you like and you find it within your heart to make a clip, please tag me in it. I would greatly appreciate that. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all back here next Thursday, 8 p.m. And I may, pop in and here and there around. Make sure you're following me so you know when I go live anywhere, okay? We love you so much. Shalom. Good night.
I want to say something.
What? Go ahead.
Do not eat pork.
That is right. Do not eat pork. No pork on our fork.
Mono. Living super clean. That it came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Maga. Now also available on Messiah TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.
Let him save you in the end like a Semino.